Pats Nation, somebody needs to go right now and check on Bill Belichick. Now, the last few days, your boy has gotten zero sleep, especially with the Patriots making, 8 signings in free agency yesterday? And so I thought that day 2 wouldn't be anything as crazy as day 1, but the Patriots were definitely not done. Thought I was just going to get a couple hours of sleep. I wake up maybe 2 hours later, and the Patriots sign tight end Hunter Henry to a 3-year deal worth $37.5 million, and the deal also includes $25 million in guaranteed money. What is happening? I mean, I'm at a loss for words right now. Yesterday, the New England Patriots addressed the tight end position in tight end Jonnu Smith. They signed him to a 4-year deal. That in itself was surprising. That in itself was a big move. And they signed him to a massive, massive contract, making him, I believe, the 3rd highest paid tight end in the league. And all offseason, we were talking about, who could join the New England Patriots at the tight end position. They're clearly going to upgrade one way or another. We've been throwing so many names out there. Kyle Rudolph. We talked about Jared Cook. We talked about Hunter Henry. We talked about Jonnu Smith. But dear God, we never, ever talked about both Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith joining the Patriots. If I had told you the New England Patriots could sign Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, each and every single one of you would have commented how crazy I am. 48 hours ago, the New England Patriots had the worst group of tight ends. Easily, hands down, the worst production the past 3 seasons out of tight ends, both in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. The New England Patriots might just now have the best tight end group in the entire NFL. I mean, damn, Belichick really wanted to address the tight end position, and like I mentioned earlier, they signed Jonnu Smith to a 4-year deal. He's the 3rd highest paid tight end in the league right now. None of us were expecting them to go out and then sign Hunter Henry, who is the best, or at least considered the best tight end in this free agency market. The New England Patriots signed the top 2 tight ends in the free agency market. 2 starting caliber tight ends. And this might sound bizarre, but I don't know how I feel about it. Don't get me wrong, having 2 top-tier tight ends in the league, 2 top 10 tight ends in this league, is obviously awesome. It's obviously a, let's be real, pipe dream to have, and the fact that this is a reality for the New England Patriots tremendously opens up the Patriots' offensive playbook and their potential. But obviously, they are spending a lot of money at the tight end position. And really my big question is, how are the Patriots going to use both of these tight ends? How are they going to utilize both of them as starting caliber tight ends? Again, let's keep in mind the Patriots are signing Hunter Henry, 3-year deal, $37 million within that span. So that is over $10 million a year with 25 again guaranteed. Jonnu Smith is making about roughly $12 million per year. New England needs to make sure that they are getting the ball to both of these tight ends. Because, no offense, but I don't want the Patriots out here spending a plethora of money and then them not getting the elite numbers out of both of these tight ends. And that was the great thing when the New England Patriots signed Jonnu Smith. You know that he's your immediate day 1 plug-in as your starting number 1 tight end. But now, obviously, with Hunter Henry in the mix, one of these guys has to be a number 2 tight end. Not both of these guys can be the number one tight end for the New England Patriots. And so straight off the bat, that is just my number one concern, is that with the money that they're paying each of these guys, they both need to get production. You know, if they're both only getting 500 yards, you're kind of looking at it like, oh, you're both getting paid 10 plus million a year. You're expecting more than that. Then let's be real with ourselves. I think we all expected when they signed Jonnu Smith that Hunter Henry was clearly off the board. Now, to break this video down a little bit more, now that I've kind of gone on my rant, Hunter Henry is a 26-year-old tight end. So, again, the Patriots are very young at the tight end position. By the time his contract is up, he'll be, 29? He's also going to be a bit bigger than Jonnu Smith. Not by too much, but he's definitely bigger. 6'5", 249 pounds, just under 6'6". This is another big body target for Cam Newton or whoever this quarterback is. Now, obviously, the big thing that stands out with Jonnu Smith now and Hunter Henry is that the Patriots have to be running two tight end sets. There's no way that this team is not going to be running two tight end sets. And this is something we've been talking about for so long, the Patriots doing, especially even last year. You know, they drafted two tight ends in the third round. They trade up Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene. We're talking about them running two tight end sets. That doesn't happen. You got to imagine having two top tier tight ends, two number one tight ends. They have to be running a two tight end set. And obviously, this just opens that playbook for Josh McDaniels so much more. And I'm expecting to see plays that we have never, ever seen in this Patriots offense. Now, Hunter Henry is also coming off one of his best seasons with rookie quarterback Justin Herbert. He had a career best of 60 receptions for 613 yards and 4 touchdowns with the Chargers this past season. Belichick has always been a coach who loves his tight ends, and that is despite what we have seen from the team at the tight end position over the last few seasons. Belichick has actually always been a coach who has very much valued running a two tight end set. We've seen it several times, most notably and most recently with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. This is something the Patriots also tried to do with Rob Gronkowski and Martellus Bennett. They got to run that for a couple of games, but sadly, Rob Gronkowski was injured for most of that season. Now, the big thing here with Hunter Henry, and probably why they also signed Jonnu Smith, is because Hunter Henry is not a guy that you can really rely on in terms of how he stays healthy. It's kind of like a Rob Gronkowski situation. You could even say it's a little bit worse, just in the fact that he has yet to play a full season in the NFL and actually missed the final 2 games this past season after being placed on the reserve/COVID list. He also missed the entire 2018 regular season after tearing his ACL and 4 games in 2019 after suffering another injury. He was originally drafted by the Chargers in the second round of the 2016 draft. Hunter Henry has 196 receptions for 2,322 yards and 21 touchdowns in 5 NFL seasons. Belichick has always been a very much admirer of Hunter Henry. We all already knew this. I mean, this past season when they played the Chargers, he ran down Hunter Henry just to talk to him. Belichick even said this past December that he's always followed Hunter Henry's career. Now, I would say that the better all-around tight end is definitely Jonnu Smith when it comes to blocking, and again, just coming to an all-around tight end. I would definitely say Jonnu Smith is also much better after the catch, but when it comes to a pure receiver who's going to make these hard catches, the better guy is definitely Hunter Henry. He's someone who's definitely a big body target you can plug in the middle of the field. You can put on the outside. He can run up the seam. He could be a vertical threat. He can help move the chains. He's going to be kind of that Rob Gronkowski role. You know, he's going to be a guy that you go and you pass the ball to in tough situations on a third down that you have to convert because he's going to catch the ball. He's really a sure-handed receiver. He's easily a red zone threat. And he's going to be somebody that is super hard to cover. The only thing is that, again, he definitely isn't really a receiver who has much of an after-the-catch ability. He's someone who is going to catch the ball in traffic for sure, but he isn't necessarily going to make too much of an impact after he catches the ball. So kind of in comparison to Jonnu Smith, I could see the Patriots trying to get the ball to Jonnu Smith more so in space. Because he has such a great after-the-catch ability, try to get it to him in space, kind of use him on screen packages, maybe dump-offs, just any way that they could get him again into space. As where with Hunter Henry, I could see, Cam Newton, the pocket's collapsing. He just launches the ball 20, 30 yards downfield to Hunter Henry, and Henry just goes up and grabs it between two defenders. Again, not a great blocker. He's also somebody that you're definitely not going to see on end-arounds. Maybe Belichick tries it just because it's Belichick we're talking about. He tries everything with every player. But Jonnu Smith is definitely that guy who you'll see with end-arounds and getting some rush attempts. Hunter Henry has never had one single rush attempt. Like I said, he only appeared in 14 games this past season, started in all of them, targeted 93 times, 60 receptions, 613 yards, averaging 10.2 yards per reception, and 4 touchdowns. He also had a catch percentage of 64.5 yards. 2019, he appears in 12 games, of course, starts all of them, targeted 76 times, 55 receptions, 652 yards, 11.9 yards per reception, 5 touchdowns, and has a catch percentage of 72.4. Just bizarre. All around, I'm actually really surprised at the contracts just because I thought Hunter Henry would be a guy that got the bigger contract in the NFL. But the Patriots actually gave the bigger contract to Jonnu Smith, and they signed him to a 4-year deal rather than signing, Hunter Henry, who is getting a 3-year deal. So I think that does help go to show that while Belichick does love Hunter Henry, maybe he loves Jonnu Smith just a little bit more, and he knows that he's a better all-around tight end and somebody who is going to stay healthy. Hunter Henry's definitely a great player, but chances are that you're going to see Jonnu Smith in more games because I just doubt that you're going to see Hunter Henry play a full season with the Patriots, considering he's never done so in his career. I'm sure this is something Belichick also knows, He knows Hunter Henry is an injury-prone guy. He needs a nice backup for him. Obviously, that's Jonnu Smith, but at the same time, Jonnu Smith gets injured. You need another tight end. Who do you have? Oh, you have Hunter Henry. It's clear to me that Belichick definitely does not want to be in a situation like he's been the past couple of seasons where he does not have an elite pass-catching tight end, and it looks like that's not going to be a problem for several years. Before we end this one, I want to talk about my boys over at betonline.ag, the sponsors of this video. BetOnline has the fastest and easiest ways to bet on all of your sports action. Football might be over, but NBA, college basketball, and the NHL are still in full swing. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV. They also have real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine, and BetOnline has you covered for all of the news, scores, and odds, and it's the best way to place your bets, and it's completely free to sign up. All you guys got to do is head to the website or use your mobile device and sign up today to receive 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. Again, BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in with the action, and don't forget to use that promo code CLNS50 for a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. Y'all, the Patriots have surprisingly signed tight end Hunter Henry to a 3-year deal. This New England Patriots offense is looking like one of the best that we have seen in years. I mean, this cast is definitely upgraded, and you can't argue about that. Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith at the tight end position. Right now, you have Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne, who are added to the wide receiver position, and New England is definitely not done, my friends. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell notification so you get notified when I post new content about the Pats. Of course, I get these videos out as quick as possible, and I have videos on each and every single one of the signings the Patriots have made so far. It would mean the world to me if you guys give this video a big thumbs up, and maybe even also shared it with some friends, family. But just let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like always, I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.
In Astroworld.